Well, hello and welcome to a Friday Daily Dominion. We have a triple set kingdom here, which includes plunder, menagerie, and allies, and also, yeah, includes a bit of the sadness that has been kind of a theme of the week, but we'll get to that in a sec. Let's first look at the cards. The cards you can see over here. We have a jeweled egg with plus coin and plus buy, and when you trash this, gain a loot. But as we will see, in this kingdom there is no trashing whatsoever. So this below the line text is kind of completely useless. And actually the loots, they are nicely displayed here in this pile. They are completely inaccessible in this kingdom. Well, still, there is stuff to do. There is especially Flagship, which lets you play a non-command action card that you play afterwards, doubled or 3 times if you get 2 flagships in play, because they don't play each other again, because they're command cards themselves. And also Flagship is Patient. And Patient is a trait that now applies to Flagship in this game, saying at the start of your cleanup phase, you may set aside patient cards from your hand to play them at the start of your next turn, which essentially means that we never will be able to have trouble playing our flagships. Now, as for draw, this kingdom is kind of awkward because the main draw that there might be is Landing Party, which is +2 cards and +2 actions, but Landing Party will and also says the next time the first card you play on a turn is a treasure, you put it onto your deck. And that means that until the first card we play during our turns is a treasure, we won't be able to get landing parties out of play. And that's especially bad if we were to set patient cards aside, because that means the first card we will play is an action card. And also Mastermind, if we will go for this, I'm not super sure yet, has the same thing that you will want to play your action cards at the start of turn. And also, to add insult to injury, if you were to flagship a landing party, the flagship would stay out during the whole turn that you top deck the landing party, so maybe almost indefinitely, and you won't be able to get any bonuses off it. So I think since flagship is such a good card here, we're going to skip landing party. Which leaves the question, what else is the draw here? And the other things that might be draw are town criers. Well, town criers not really draw, just cantrips, but you kind of, sort of, can increase your hand size with flagships you played on earlier turns, or if you pair them with masterminds. And blacksmiths. And blacksmiths say you can either choose to draw up to 6 cards in hand, +2 cards, or +1 card and +1 action. Which isn't the greatest, but if we were to be able to double play or triple play blacksmiths with flagships, they might be okay draw. Also notable are the millers, which might be able to sift a bit. Elders, I think, are too expensive to really too expensive and too inaccessible to really go for. Now, what else is there? We have tools to gain us copies of cards anyone has in play. And actually, I didn't see that when I prepared the openings, but so anyone has in play means that really anyone can have a card in play. So if AI happens to have a mastermind in play, then we can gain a mastermind off of them having it in play. And if AI has a flagship in play, likewise. Same with Taskmaster to a lesser extent. I don't think you really want Taskmasters here, as the restriction of having to gain 5-cost cards each turn might be a bit too harsh. But yeah, gaining flagships with tools is great. Stocking up on this kind of stuff I really like. Yeah, more things that are going on here are Way of the Worm, which says exile an estate from the supply, and that is kind of innocuous. You spend the whole play of an action card just to exile an estate, But here it has some merits as there's Animal Fair. And Animal Fair has +4 coins and then +1 buy per empty supply pile. And there are both Mastermind and Flagship that let you double or triple play actions. And if you manage to be the one that exiles the last estate with Way of the Worm, then your animal fairs will activate their plus buy, and you suddenly will have a bunch of plus buys potentially. And that might be very strong. Yeah, Gatekeeper, not super relevant here. Kiln, also not super relevant, just because of the absence of trashing. You won't be able to line up stuff that well, I think. It looks like a doozy. I'm very I'm like I wouldn't be surprised if we lose this. But let's see how it goes. The kingdom plot looks as The kingdom plot looks as follows. As I said, the draw is rather weak. A patient flagship is actually a magnificent village here. Mastermind as well. But Mastermind really has the risk of being lined up with your junk, and then you might be very, very unhappy, especially if that Mastermind ate up your flagship double plays. There is a bunch of gains. Jeweled egg, well, loots are inaccessible, as I said, but tools doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, I don't know. Alt VP in the form of Way of the Worm, being able to exile your VP instead of gaining them to your deck, kind of. Very weak, and Gatekeeper is also a weak attack. Actually, Gatekeeper has a synergy is a counter to a card that's also on the board here, which is Jeweled Egg, as having Gatekeepers in play while your opponent is gaining loots usually is a strong counter to them ever getting the loots into their deck. But, oh, sorry, I wanted to showcase this. But here, well, no loots, no Gatekeeper being relevant at all, I think. Now, what is going to be our strategy? I think we're going to try to stock up on the townsfolk pile, just get loads of actions that are not non-durations in play and a bunch of flagships with them. And then later on, we might go for 1 or 2 animal fairs, some masterminds, and I think going for tools is the way to go here. So my opening advice here, I think we're not going to open Flagship Towncrier actually, but rather tools. Towncrier, everything looks really bland, to be honest. But with the tools, we might be early on, we might be happy to gain another tools, and later on we might be profiting off of AI having its durations in play, and we can gain, or we ourselves will have flagships in play or whatever. So tools doesn't look too bad. Yeah, Towncrier just to get an action into the deck early on instead of a silver. It all looks rather unpleasant. But yeah, let's go for this. As always, try to intimidate the AI just by playing 2 coppers. I actually wonder if it changes stuff. But yeah, open Tools Towncrier. And yeah, this is not all too great, but we can just gain another Towncrier. This Towncrier will be able to draw a copper, or we can play it as +2. I think I like getting a flagship in deck. Do we want to rotate here to pick up some blacksmiths? Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. And now this tools will unfortunately also only be able to gain another tools, but that's fine. We can pick up the first blacksmith, and now AI trap card has activated, and we are able to gain a flagship off of AI's flagship in play. And yeah, what do we do here? I think we do trigger the shuffle, then the copper and the estate miss the shuffle, it's fine. And not rotate this, just go for the very calm, decline that, play, and go for another flagship, and set this one aside. Play it at the start of the next turn, and already we will get to double play this blacksmith. We could also worm it, but I think yeah, going for that is fine. get to draw 2 cards here. And I think we just draw 2 cards once again. Yeah, that looks good. Get to pick up another blacksmith, another flagship. Would have been great to have another flagship in play already, but what can you do? AI has double played its, or has 2 taskmasters in play, I guess? Or has it discarded a flagship that it has played one of the taskmasters? A bit weird. Actually, let me. So it resolved a taskmaster, 2 taskmasters, and then the third one. Wait, what happened here? It only has 1 card in play, but it has played it 4 times. That's actually pretty scary. What? But then the flagships shouldn't have moved out of play. I'm very puzzled here. Yeah, anyways. I think throwing in another flagship is the correct way to go here for us. And we can just draw 2 cards here. And yeah, again, no, I don't understand what happened. Plays a Mastermind twice, once with Way of the Worm. I'm utterly confused, as you can see. But yeah, already we should think about. Well, I think this wants to be Mastermind or the last. Maybe Mastermind, and I think we do sacrifice one of our flagships for an animal fair, just to be able to threaten a bit of the bias. And I'm utterly confused what AI. Man, it triple plays this flagship, and things are getting really scary actually. Yeah, play this flagship the normal way, draw here, and play it as plus card and plus action. Plus card and plus action this. What do we do here? I think we just warm this one actually. Play this flagship next turn and gain yet another blacksmith and buy one more flagship. Yeah, whatever AI is doing there with flagship mastermind stuff is really scary. I don't know. And this will activate the plus buys. If an AI manages to collide this stuff with its animal fair, we might be in trouble. But luckily, it only gets 1 flagship in play. No, no. What? Why is the it still has a lot of. I'm too confused by this kingdom. It has the flagship, so it will be able to quadruple play an action card, giving it a good threat of getting a lot of money and buys with an animal fair. Yeah, this blacksmith, we can make it miss shuffle, I think. Let's play it for 1 card, 1 action, and hope we do not draw the animal fair that we have. And yeah, play this flagship, gain a Mastermind, maybe gain a duchy. Hitting 7 would have been nice here. Maybe I was too scared of, yeah, anything there, but things are looking so scary. No, oh, Sextuple played this Mastermind. Man, I think we're smokes. Play normally, plus 1 card, plus 1 action. Strategy, no. is not working out. And yeah, we do not have any sort of win here. We're far from it, actually. Maybe we just gain tools and hope for the best on the next turn. But if it finds the animal fair now, it doesn't. So yeah, let's play this Wait, what do we do here? We mastermind the flagship, I think. Play it normally. Play this flagship normally for lots of coins and decline this, play normally, decline this, play normally, decline this, play normally. And AI only has a single flagship in play. Okay, that's great. Unfortunately, we seem to not find our plus buy. And we will only be able to put in a bit of this and a bit of that. And yeah, this is a lot of points, but it doesn't get to set aside anything. And I'm just drawing here in the hopes of maybe finding another flagship. Amazing. And set this aside. This is a lottery. And the last 6 cards contain our animal fair. So we can play this normally, play this normally, play this normally, and if we survive for another turn, then we should be okay. But nope, that's my streak gone because AI did collide its animal fair with its Mastermind and Flagship. Our animal fair was just there. Well, I am not super surprised by at losing this. That is just, it is a lottery. Yeah, wow. Now, I think I still like this strategy, as weird as it sounds, but like masterminding flagship is actually really, really good. Getting this. Yeah, but maybe we would have needed to sacrifice more animal fairs for flagships. Yeah, I don't know. Just go triple flagship there. Do we even play anything here? I think we do. Trigger the shuffle with a few flagships and the things in them. Play normally as +1 card, +1 action. See as many cards as we can. And with 6 here, 7 would have been great for an animal fair already. But we just go for maybe also Mastermind. I'm puzzled by this kingdom, but I still think going for the townsfolk there is correct. AI gets 2 of its flagships going, and we can just warm this for an. Ah, no, we will double play it. Then we can just draw, I guess, and play it as card plus action. Tools, another flagship, tools, another mastermind, buy an animal fair, and set aside 2 flagships. Now, of course, this mastermind does not find anything. Play normally and be sad, I guess. And let's just hope that the next shuffle will bring good stuff for us. And this already is super scary again. Triple playing all those masterminds. Oh my gosh. What is this kingdom? This is much worse than I anticipated. And we do, of course, draw one of our animal fairs here and have no durations whatsoever. Yeah, let's not gain this last flagship because if now AI collides this stuff with an animal fair, we are completely toast. Let's just pick up another one of those. We could mill this animal fair. I don't think we're in a good position to actually do that. So we just go for a state, I guess, or landing party, or actually a miller. And okay, it uses all of this stuff to quadruple play Taskmaster. It did find the animal fair, so good call on the flagship there. We, on the other hand, do get to triple play Flagship, and then lets us play this Flagship, this Blacksmith 4 times. 2 times we will have to cantrip it. And yeah, actually, I think I like just getting 2 Masterminds played, pick up whatever with his tools, not the Flagship, I think, and just buy a province. Now this is good that we do hit, and the AI does go for the last Flagship here and Masterminds, so we might have a pile out here. We triple play this Flagship, triple play that Flagship, and then septuple play the blacksmith. And actually, that seems like it's a win, right? Can just warm all of those mastermind plays, play it normally once, of course, for an amazing next turn, and go for this mastermind tools mastermind. What the heck was this kingdom? 13 turns, and it just felt like a giant lottery of colliding stuff. That was awful. But I mean, if I lose to the AI, then I rather lose with such random shuffle lottery than with anything else. But yeah, I think it was overdue. We had some kingdoms where we got exceedingly lucky against the AI, or yesterday where AI just refused to, and also a few days back, I think, where AI just refused to play a kingdom properly. But what is going on with this flagship stuff? This is worse. This is even worse than I anticipated it to be. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed seeing me suffer through this and rolling the dice a bit. Now, as sometimes I do, I again have a collage by Pianist, and for which I've taken some time before the game started to try to identify all of the things. I think I have them all, but one of them was really nasty, and that is the one that did not belong to today's kingdom. So I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course, you can also pause the video, and I will now go through all of the things in the collage. Now, in the front, let me show you my poor man's cursor. We have the snake of Mastermind, which I actually didn't realize was there before looking at this kingdom. Super cool. Then this pot thingy is the pot thingy of Kiln. In the foreground, we have Gatekeeper, of course. Then we have the townsfolk, or more specifically the building from Town Crier over here, there. Then in the very, very background, the clouds actually belong to Flagship, I believe. And then we, even though they were inaccessible during this playthrough, we have Orb in the background shining brightly, and Puzzle Box, which you currently can't see. How can I show this? Probably like this. Yeah, there you can see it now. And then very nicely hidden in those thingies that are around Orb is the worm from Way of the Worm. And now only one thing stood out that does not belong to this kingdom, and that's the thing at the feet of Gatekeeper. There is no dog here, but it really fits there very nicely. and it took me ages to find where this is from. I actually looked through the card gallery, because my first hunch was hunting party or scouting party, some weird stuff like this, but the dogs in there look different. And it was maybe maybe the shepherd's thingy, the ally giving you points for 2 cost pasture. No, I forgot the name. But also it wasn't that, and in the end it popped up in the art of, drumroll, Wayfarer. And yeah, that dog, I had no recollection of it being there. Of course, when I saw the Wayfarer, it was fine. But yeah, that's deviously hidden. Anyways, that was a chaotic playthrough and the end of a long streak also. Let me just very quickly copy my losing thingy, and I'll be back. Of course, I meant this thingy here. I can show you this, and yeah, as you see, it's the first daily I lost in a long time, but with this thingy, I'm not super salty about this. And as I said, I think it was overdue. I just wanted to show you the doggo. So cute, this beagle. But so deviously hidden. I didn't see it for a long time. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and on that note, I will leave you here and probably be back tomorrow with a video on my updated website. Let's see. And until then, I will have a good night's sleep, and I will try to catch you in the next one. Goodbye.